In this section, I'm going to talk briefly about the use of metric conversions. So, as much as I love being an American, the unit of measurement we use is dumb. There are 12 inches in a foot, there's 3 feet in a yard, there's 1,760 yards in a mile, and it just doesn't add up right. So, the metric system was actually developed in the 1700s by the French in response to this ridiculous English system, and it uses the number 10, which is a much better idea. So, everything that we do with the metric system is all base 10. The sciences use the metric system. So, we're going to be using this quite a bit throughout the semester. So, in order to scale things up or down, what we essentially have are base units. For example, we have the base unit for length as being the meter. For mass, we have the grams. For volume, we have the liter. For time, we still have the second. And in order to scale things up or down, we add prefixes. So these prefixes kind of tell us how big or small we are in comparison to these base units. So there are two different ways that this is done. I'm going to show you both of them. With large numbers, it remains the same. Okay, so what this is saying is that this is the number of base units in one of these. So in 1 megameter, there are 10 to the 6th meters. For every 1 kilogram, there is 10 to the 3rd grams. For every 1 milliliter, there is 10 to the negative 3 liters. Okay, so this is one way to approach this. Another way to approach it is in terms of keeping everything positive. So when I end up doing this, I kind of do it like this, where I have 10 to the 3rd, 10 to the 2, 10 to the 3rd, 10 to the 6th, 10 to the 9th, and 10 to the 12th. Notice that all of these values are positive. But the difference is who they are attached to. So for these first two, they are still attached exactly the same way. 1 megameter is attached to the base unit, right? So we have 10 to the 6th meters. It's when we get into the smaller units that we end up using, or we switch it. So now for down here, for just these ones, okay, just these ones, not with the other system, this is with my system. I'll even label it as my system because I like positive exponents. So in this case, we attach all of these to the prefix unit. So that means there are 10 to the 2 centimeters in 1 meter. There are 10 to the 12 picoliters in 1 liter. Over here, they're all attached to the base unit. Okay, all of them. Either system is fine. Use the one that works the best for you. So now you see that I'm writing these as one thing equals another. That means these are ratios, which means that we can use them in dimensional analysis. So if I have 6.5 meters and I want to go to picometers, I can use dimensional analysis. So for every 10 to the negative 12 meters, I have 1 picometer. Multiply across the top, divide by the bottom, and I have 6.5 times 10 to the 12 picometers. You should always make sure your answer makes sense. These are very, 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 very tiny bits, and this is actually a fairly large bit, so we would expect a lot of the tiny ones to be in there. Now, this isn't a complete list of all of the prefixes that you need to have memorized. So if you want to know what those are, check your memorization packet. These are the ones that we're going to use the most, though. So these are where I would start, and then just have a general frame of reference for the other ones.